Hello everybody and welcome to the TFM YouTube channel. TFM stands for Talking Flight Monitor. Talking Flight Monitor, as we discussed in part 1 of this series, is an add-on for flight simulators. Microsoft Flight Simulator, all editions except 2020, Lockheed Prepart 3D, anywhere from 3 on up. And what it does is it provides an accessibility layer to the aircraft in the simulator, so you can independently fly an airplane as a blind or visually impaired person with a screen reader. In the first video we discussed the basics of things you can do on the ground. For an example, we showed how to read altitude, indicated airspeed, true airspeed. Auto announcements from TFM, like toggling your brakes on and off and changing your flaps, things like that. In this video we're actually going to do a takeoff and show you some things that we weren't able to show you in the previous video. If you do like this channel and this video, press the subscribe button. Tell your friends also if they're interested in flight simmer. Maybe they don't know that they can fly an airplane in a simulator as a totally blind person or disabled person. If you feel that is the case, then take and give them this channel and let them take a look. And we'll surely help them out as much as possible. If you need to contact us, you can get a hold of me at my email address. Contact information is inside the channel. So to give you, those of you who might not have seen the last video, I highly recommend going back and visiting it. But I am Andy, a developer for TFM. Jason is also a developer at TFM, and he's not here at the present. So we will get started here. And right now we're sitting on runway 13 left at Dallas Fort Worth in Texas. And we know this because we can have TFM tell us what runway we are at.
Runway 13 L at KDFW.
It said 13 left at KDFW. KDFW is the airport code. It's what they use in air traffic control a lot of times. So, takeoff process. So takeoff process is a little involved, especially for people that are new at simming or flying in general. Like we had mentioned in the previous video, we use an add-on, an autopilot add-on called FS Tramp. And we are developing our own flight planner, so until we get that finalized, we'll have to use FS Tramp as the autopilot and flight planner. There's a few things about FS Tramp. First of all, you have to pay for it. It's a subscription-based model that someone else had developed, and they are asking for, I believe it's $45 or $50 US dollars a year for a subscription. Second of all, the way that FS Tramp works, when we get up into the air and we start changing some values like autopilot heading and autopilot speed, for the time being we have to change them in FS Tramp first before we can change them in Talking Flight Monitor. Once we get our own flight planner done, that will definitely change. So if I mention going and changing a value in FS Tramp, that's what I mean, and you will see me do it here in a short little bit. So the takeoff process is going to demonstrate automatic readbacks from TFM on certain things like landing gear, the state of the plane, flaps, something called yaw damper, and lights, and brake on off. So without further ado, I would like to get started. So we have a flight plan loaded. At this point it's going to Austin, Texas. We will not get there not today. At this point we're showing takeoff and a few things in the air. So we have our flight plan loaded. We have autopilot turned on. We're ready to go, other than setting the plane up. So first of all, what we're going to do, turn on auto brake to rejected takeoff. And these terms in the videos to come, these terms will become more familiar with you, or for you I should say. At this point, rejected takeoff basically means that if you need to full stop on the runway before you reach takeoff speed, you could safely do it. So we will turn brakes
Left race. Auto brake RTO.
to RTO. We need to auto throttle.
Auto throttle armed.
All these commands that I'm doing are simulator commands. They are not TFM commands. So auto brake, auto throttle. Auto throttle basically says the autopilot has control of the thrust and the throttles on the plane. We need to do yaw damper.
Yaw damper active.
Yaw damper basically is the thing that makes it so people don't feel the G-force of takeoff, landing, and turns. We'll turn on PDIC heat.
Pivot heat on.
Basically keeps the avionics fans and things from freezing.
Wing leveler active.
Turn on wing leveler. Wing leveler will help you stay straight on the runway.
Flight director active.
We'll turn on flight director because in most cases the wing leveler would like to have the flight director on. The flight director basically is an indicator that shows you what path you need to follow if you're manually flying the plane. We need
Landing on.
landing lights on. We need
Instruments on.
instrument panel on. We need to turn on flaps. We'll set them to 5.
Flaps 5.
So TFM said flaps 5. Alright.
Parking brake off.
Turn off the parking brake. And I believe now we are ready for takeoff. So, without further ado, here is our takeoff.
Takeoff power active. Altitude lock active. Takeoff power off. Airspeed hold active.
Alright, let's check.
34 feet ag. 67 feet ag. 1453 feet per minute. FG.
Let's pull the landing gear up.
Gear up. Dot. 1000. 1020 feet ASL.
Let's pull the flaps in.
Flaps 0.
Alright. Let's check some values vertical speed.
1329 feet per minute.
Okay, we're climbing at 1329 feet per minute. These are all TFM commands, used with the right bracket key and then a letter.
203 knots indicated.
203 airspeed.
207 knots true.
207 true airspeed.
Gear up. Dot.
The landing
2,000 feet.
gear is up.
Flaps 0.
The flaps are at 0.
2157 feet ASL.
Just about 2,800 above sea level altitude.
205 knots indicated.
So we can change autopilot values. At this point we have to initially change them in FS Tramp first. Let's see what our
AP altitude : hold 24,800 feet.
autopilot altitude is 24,000 feet. Well, I
FS
don't want
KDFW
to
dash
have
3,000 vertical speed edit red. All checkbox checked. Altitude edit red only.
I don't want to have our altitude at 24,000 feet.
24,800 selected. 5. Select 0. 0. 0.
I have to go into FS Tramp first, into the altitude text field,
AP altitude : 5,000 feet.
and change the value.
Lockheed Martin registered 3529 feet ASL.
We're at 3529 feet.
$1,300 feet per minute. 1,302 feet per minute. 211 knots indicated. 3,945 feet ASL. 4,000 feet.
We're still climbing to 5,000 feet.
4,115 feet ASL. 1,352 feet per minute.
Let's see if our AP altitude's changed to 5,000.
AP altitude : hold 5,000 feet.
It did. And it's going to hold, so basically that means it will stay at 5,000 feet once it gets to that point.
4,571 feet ASL.
We're almost there.
1,437 feet per minute. 1,352 feet per minute.
We're climbing at 1,352 feet per minute.
4,820 feet ASL. 587 feet per minute.
Yeah, we're starting to level off based on the vertical altitude, or the vertical speed.
472 feet per minute. 4,960 feet ASL. 5,000 feet.
And if you notice, TFM announced 5,000 feet. It will, if you have the setting turned on in TFM, it will automatically announce altitude at every 1,000 feet. So now we're at 5,000 feet.
26 feet per minute.
Let's change.
252 knots indicated.
We don't want 5,000 feet anymore, so we will
Set
go
autopilot
into
altitude.
TFM.
Enter altitude : edit selected 5,000. 1. Select 0. 0. 0. 0.
And we'll change it to 10,000 feet.
Lockheed Martin registered Prepar 3D registered V5. AP altitude : 10,000 feet.
Now to change the autopilot values like altitude, speed, vertical speed, it's the left bracket key and then a letter key with shift. So for an example, to read the current autopilot altitude, it's left bracket A. To change it, it's left bracket shift A. Same thing with vertical speed. To read it, left bracket V. To change it, left bracket shift V. And the same thing with the speed, left bracket S to read the autopilot speed, and left bracket shift S to change the autopilot speed. Now keep in mind
FSKDFW dash cause left parent build
that we have to change it in Tramp first.
HDG checkbox checked. Heading edit red only 180.
That's heading.
HD altitude edit red only 10. All checkbox checked. Vertical speed edit red only 0. Airspeed edit red only 250.
Let's change
250
the
selected.
speed
290.
to 290.
Lockheed Martin registered.
And we know this because if we do left bracket S,
Hold 290 knots.
it says hold 290. And if we do right bracket S to read the current speed,
267 knots indicated.
it is going higher.
20 feet ASL.
There's our altitude.
36 feet per minute. 276 knots indicated.
Alright, now we can change the
Set autopilot airspeed.
autopilot
Enter
speed
airspeed,
again
Edit selected 290.
in TFM
2, SIL 5, 0.
with left bracket shift S. This is what I'm doing
Airspeed hold.
here.
OK button. Space Lockheed Martin
the
registered
OK
3
button.
R3D registered V5.
And we know left
Hold
bracket
250
S
knots.
is 250 knots.
283 knots indicated.
And the current airspeed
280 knots indicated.
is starting to slow down. So TFM also has audible announcements and speech for attitude. This is the bank angle when you're making turns, and the nose pitch as you're climbing and descending. You can do that with right bracket, left
Attitude mode
bracket.
enabled.
Where currently it's set to audible. Now let's climb.
Enter altitude colon. Edit selected 10,000. Lockheed Martin registered 3 R3D 5,004 feet ASL. AP altitude colon. Hold 10,000 feet. Minus 7 feet per minute.
Alright.
Enter altitude colon. Edit selected 10,000. Lockheed Martin registered 3 R31 0 0 0 0. Lockheed Martin registered 3 R3 FS Tram Row 1 Cobb Lockheed Martin registered 3 FS Tram Row 1 Lockheed Martin registered 3 R3D hold 250 knots. Set autopilot
Let's
altitude.
change.
Enter altitude colon. Edit selected 10,000. 1 0 0 0 0. Altitude lock checkbox checked. OK button. Space. Lockheed Martin registered 3 R3D. AP altitude colon. Hold 10,000 feet. 5,000 feet ASL. FKDFW dash. Vertical speed edit red only. All checkbox checked. Vertical speed edit red only 0000. Altitude edit red only 10,000. 10,000 selected. 1 2 0 0 0. AP altitude colon. 12. Lockheed Martin registered 3 R3D registered.
The pitch increases.
$54.43 feet ASL. 238 knots indicated. 1732 feet per minute.
We're still climbing.
239 knots indicated. Attitude mode disabled.
It's also available in speech output where it will tell you in
6,000
degrees.
feet.
So it may say up 10, down 10, left 2, right 2, that type of thing. The other thing that we want to show you is
Next waypoint colon. Window. Distance colon. 54 nautical miles. Bearing colon. 179 degrees. 12 minutes. 10 seconds.
So it'll give you pretty much all the information you wanted about a waypoint. The name, distance, time till you arrive at that waypoint, and the bearing, which is the heading.
7,000 feet.
If you
Heading colon. 183.
check the heading with right bracket H, this is a TFM command.
Heading colon. 183.
It'll tell you your current direction on the compass. If you do left bracket H,
Heading bold 183.
it will tell you the autopilot's target heading and whether it's held or not. The other thing I wanted to show you is the Where Am I feature.
Ellis, Texas, United States. 8,000 feet.
So the Where Am I feature will tell you if you are airborne. It will tell you the city you're flying through at that particular time. If you're on the ground, it will tell you what gate, taxiway, or runway you are at and what airport you're located at. That you can get for now
Ellis, Texas, United States.
is right bracket Shift C and right bracket C.
Grandview, Texas, United States. 6.9 nautical miles, 241 degrees, 9,000 feet.
Will tell you what your nearest city is, not the one you're flying through, but the one that you are nearest to. The Where Am I feature and the Nearby City feature do require API keys and usernames. The Where Am I feature goes through Bing Maps and requires a Bing Maps API key, and the nearest city
10,000 feet.
is from GeoNames, and that requires a GeoNames user account on their website. And if you need help with that, you can ask one of us, and we can definitely get you pointed in the right direction. So, TFM is definitely well versed in what it can do. Fuel.
Total fuel, 43,340.6 pounds, 6,469.5 gallons. Total fuel flow, 9428, 11,000 feet.
Well, so you just heard an automatic announcement of 11,000 feet after the fuel readouts. It will tell you your burn rates for your engines.
Fuel flow left parent, pounds per hour right parent, engine 1, 4701, engine 2, 4701.
It will tell you your engine thrust.
Engine 1, 62.6%, 13,703 pounds thrust. Engine 2, 60.8%, 13,292 pounds thrust.
It will tell you how much fuel is in each fuel tank.
Center line main, 94%, 13,986 pounds, 2088 gallons. Left line main, 95%, 14,620 pounds, 2182 gallons.
And by chance you happen to...
Right line main, 95%, 14,616 pounds, 2182 gallons.
More than...
Tank not available.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Tank not available. If you're trying to request fuel from a non-existent fuel tank, it will tell you tank not available. It does the same thing with the engine thrust.
Only 2 available.
It will tell you only 2 available. It will let you see your gears or landing gear status.
Gear up. Dot.
It will also
read autopilot instruments enabled.
Let you automatically read the autopilot's instruments. So as the autopilot changes things, it will automatically announce them, like heading changes or altitude changes, speed changes, things like that. And that is right bracket Shift A.
Read autopilot instruments disabled.
And we'll turn that off, because personally, I don't want to hear it.
247 knots indicated.
Alright, so this is basics for TFM part 2. Again, if you like the videos, press the subscribe button. Tell your friends that may be interested in flight simming that they should watch the videos. Tell them to press the subscribe button. If you haven't seen it yet, review the first part of the series and then come back to this one. And we hope you guys have a nice night, and we shall see you next time.
Ops 26.